Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a little look at the PMDG DC6 and basically completing a challenge that I will be doing live on the channel or have already done live on the channel depending on when you guys are going to watch this little video, and that is the circle to land at Innsbruck. Notoriously difficult and quite busy and quite full on in an airliner. We're going to throw ourselves into that with this stunning PMDG aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So welcome on board. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below and give the video a thumbs up. Now at the moment we're around about 15,000 feet over Austria at the moment, over the Alps to be precise, and we're not long entered what would be Wien radar or Austrian airspace. The winds currently with the METAR at Innsbruck with live weather are suggesting winds of 080 degrees at 7 knots. Variable between 040 degrees and 130 degrees. All the nines indicating some fairly decent visibility. Few clouds at 6,000 feet, 24 degrees Celsius and a dew point of plus 12 degrees and a QNH of 1021. Now interestingly, visibility suggests 10 kilometers or more. However, few clouds at 6,000 is a little bit of a concern really, because this is a manually flown, visually flown approach, and the the airport elevation is 2,000 feet basically, rounded up to its nearest 1,000, 1,907 feet to be precise. So it doesn't give us much room for for manoeuvre. But we're going to give it a go. A couple of guys in our club lounge requested that I attempt this, so why not? Hopefully you guys find it enjoyable. At the moment we're going to be configuring for entry from the south effectively, and we're going to head over towards the Rattenberg VOR, and then we're just going to almost wing it really. We're going to configure for the ILS as we've seen in previous instrument approaches that I've done with the lock DME or special lock DME east, followed by breaking off and doing a little circle to land. Having a quick look at Navigraph before I get too busy. These are the charts. Obviously they're for flight simulation purposes only, and you can see we have to be at Rattenberg RTT NDB 303 for that frequency, 9,500 feet. And then Advig 21 DME with a treble 1.1 frequency for the ILS, the offset localizer, for that final approach before we then break off. At 4.2 we're going to drop off and then fly that downwind leg, as you guys probably remember from previous videos, and we're then going to head down towards the church, Axham's Church, before turning right base and short finals. All manually flown. It's going to be quite interesting, so stay tuned. So one of the difficult things with this is going to be visibility, whether it's going to be VMC or IMC, and also the terrain. We don't have a terrain radar or anything like that, so we are reliant on being accurate and careful with the controls, because as you can see there is some nasty cloud off in the distance, which is pretty much exactly where we're going to be flying into, but also the mountains around Innsbruck make for quite a challenge. And whilst I'll be confident in any of the airliners doing this that are suitable for the approach, this is the first time I'm trying it for the DC6. Okay, so currently, as you guys can see, we are tracking the Innsbruck NDB, and Rattenberg is off to the north, indicated by the thicker of the two ADF arrows. You can see that moving as we head west. Soon I'm going to break off and fly towards Rattenberg, and for that we need to obviously make use of the visual conditions rather than going through the cloud towards Innsbruck itself, which is just in this valley here. We can head up towards Rattenberg and descend down to 9,300 feet, and then we're going to configure for the instrument approach, configuring things like the ILS frequency and all that sort of stuff. So as I mentioned before, we want treble 1-1 In that goes. And we want 320. In that goes. Now we're tracking both at the moment. So we're going to break off and we're going to turn towards Rattenberg. You can see Innsbruck just off in the distance down there. And now our OBS needle has aligned. We need to change that to 254, which is our course. It's about there. And then making use of the artificial flight engineer.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches.
Configuring for descent. We don't have much further to go, so we're making a real gentle, smooth descent down to Rattenberg, and you can see off in the distance the Innsbruck approach lights over there. So it's going to get really busy for us. Superchargers are off. Coming wide slightly because I don't actually want to come too tight into the approach. All it's going to do is make my turn a lot tighter. Peaks wise, I know we've got the highest altitude is 9,500 for Rattenberg, 7,900 above ground level. Some of the peaks coming up. And we're at 13,000 feet currently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take us through this little channel here, out and round, like so, and then back in towards the waypoint Advig, which is just pretty much on our left-hand side at the moment. I'm not sure how this is going to go, to be totally honest with you guys. This is my practice run for the live stream because I don't want to. I thought in my head, I don't want to cock it up during the live stream, so I'll give it a good go. And then I figured, I might as well just record it and see what happens. You guys can rate my landing. I've got Volanta fired up as well, so we'll see what it all looks like afterwards as well. If you guys want to, check the Discord lounge for that. I'll put it in screenshots or somewhere in there. 12,000. Quite turbulent over the mountains. Making our way around to Rattenberg now. And you can see there, we kind of lost the localizer somewhat, but that will pick up shortly, just as we get a little bit closer, I hope. 111.1. To be fair, this is a little bit more of a visual approach than anything else. Just making sure we head over that terrain here. So Advig coming in from Rattenberg's, usually this little peak here that I know, and I can actually see the runway just off in the distance. In fact, so that's good. And I've got that little ADF needle pointing towards the Innsbruck NDB for us as well. It's going to be a good little visual clue for us. There's the ILS picking up, and VOR1 as well. The needles. A little bit of over keen trimming there. That just busts me out slightly. I want to come left so I can fly the ILS nicely, knowing that we're kind of on a nice little radial away from Rattenberg now of 207 from the charts. Advig, in fact, I think might be that peak. Looking at this, because we are 21 miles away according to that. So yeah, Advig is literally on our left-hand side. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to work to intercept that localizer, really. You could use the gyro pilot for this, by the way. But I'm not going to. Keen about holding altitude above this little bit of terrain that we've got to go past. I'm kind of excited for this, but I'm a little bit nervous. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below, of course. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Oh, we don't want flaps 20, I don't think yet. We're not in the white band. There's the problem we've just found. Oh man. Now, the DC6 wants a nice, smooth, long and slow descent all the way down to final approach. None of that is a circle to land, so I really don't know how this is going to go. We're on live weather. I feel like I've done that before landing checklist a little bit too soon. If it goes a bit too silly, I'll have to abort the artificial flight engineer. Well, we know we're on the lateral guidance, we can see that on the OBS. We've got the course set 254-ish, and that's good. We are slightly above the glide slope according to this, which is fine by me because I'd rather be slightly above with what we're about to do than below. But here we go on the offset localizer. It doesn't take us straight in on a straight line to the runway because that would take us in via the terrain. So you come in ever so slightly from the side and kind of over this river before you turn everything off and fly in normally yourself. Okay, that's all the before landing checklists done. Everything on the outside's looking good, as you guys just saw. We've got things like landing gear out, flaps at 20, so I think there's more settings to go. I haven't flown this since Sim Update 5 got released, and of course it's now early September. Well, almost the second week of September. So it's been a fair while since I last flew this aeroplane. 10.6 miles now. 9 miles, it wants us at 5,500 feet, so we are a little bit above. But actually that's going to help us out, because I don't think this is going to do well flying straight and level on that downwind sector. But we can give it a go. See what happens. What's the worst that could happen? We crash in a simulator. All good. Right, we need to level off at 3,700. Turn that off now, so I've got control of the throttles, but my intention is to not move them at all. Until I need to idle them. Unless it goes peak tong and I need power. What we're going down to here, 3,700. The one thing I remember from this is you reduce speed in the DC6 by using drag. Now, my intention here is to go a little bit quick, so we're coming in a little bit high, a little bit quick, so 180 knots-ish. And when we level off at 3,000, so we've got 300 to go, the speed's just going to naturally bleed off, and we're going to see what happens then. Allow that nose to come up, 4.7, 4.2 almost, let's start turn. Away we go. 2, 3, 0. So you see how that speed's bled off? We're at 3,700 now. I want to kill that rate of descent. Could have really done with keeping the gear down, I think, or keeping the gear up, I should say, for this. Right, I'm kind of looking at this little blob here, and then those of you who watch my tutorials in the Airbus, you remember there's a row of power lines that lead off down that way, and that's our downwind leg. Oops, let's come up a little bit because we don't want to go too low. I'm keeping an eye on the speed, so this is a really gentle creep back up to 3,700. There's the power lines, just here, so we're going to turn to follow those to the church. You can see the church now just coming up on the nose. Just where that terrain in front of us meets the ground. And now we're flying downwind. And you can see actually our speed is in the white band, top level of the white band, and we're holding at 3,700. I'm just manually flying this myself. There's no gyro pilot or anything like that going on here. No magic tricks. There's the church. And it's all going to come down to this final approach. Whew. Slight correction here. Don't want to come too close to the airfield. Speed's 150, top end of the white band still. Altitude's dropped a bit. Let's bring that back up. Otherwise that's going to affect us on final approach. 3,700, still top end of the white band. Here comes the church. That should then give us also a DME reading of 3.5, but this is just telling us minus. And we know at the church we turn. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Keep an eye on the altitude. I just want to start a nice descent. We know we're clear of this, so let's go back to 30-degree angle of bank. Why do I get the feeling we've overshot this a little bit? Yes, we have. No bother, we've still got time and space, and we're actually on the profile, alright? Looking at this, 2 red, 2 white. Just make sure we get that correction in now, as opposed to in a minute. Just going to bring this throttle down to more like 30. Let's do 27. Manifold pressure. 25 actually. Let's just leave that set there. Keep it coming down. Not as smooth as when I do it in the airliners. Only try. I've not flown this in a long time. I think we can kill the speed. 120. Got loads of speed left to help bleed off. And it does just want to glide for a fair old while. Like we're seeing here. Down. Get that reverse thrust going on. Don't need the brakes. There we go. Heard the clicks, that's gone back in the gates. We'll do them after landing checks.
After landing checks complete.
Nice and quick. So, there we are. Not the smoothest of approaches, certainly not the most accurate, but you can do it in the DC6 by PMDG in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I forgot how bad the frames were at this Orbex scenery. Real shame. Those of you who know my PC spec will know that certainly should be getting any stutters whatsoever here. There we go, we've made it. Rijeka to Innsbruck, little trial run prior to a live stream in the DC6, and we've done a circle to land as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and if you've done it as well, let me know what your frames were like in the scenery here, and let us know what the foot per minute and the G-force was on your landing if you've got software like Volanta that monitors that. Thank you to PMDG, naturally, for creating such an incredible aeroplane for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Something very unique, very different, certainly very enjoyable to fly. And I hope to see you all in a live stream very soon. In the meantime, as always, welcome to Innsbruck, and thanks for watching. Take care.